All right, hello, welcome back, everybody. PayPal and Patreon and the YouTube super buttons, whatever, are down below if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. And extreme gratitude to anyone who does at the moment, as my dad is currently not getting paid since he works for the US government and the government is currently shut down. If you're watching or listening to this after the shutdown, you can disregard that message as always. So this is just a brief resource news update video while we're waiting for the first data batches of the month to come out, with our little news bit this time being that cobalt prices have almost doubled since the start of the year. They were somewhere down closer to around $20 per kilogram or $20,000 per ton. Now they're close up to 50. Now this is nowhere near the highest cobalt has ever gone, both nominally and accounting for inflation. The highest it ever went was technically during the 80s, in which, adjusted for inflation, cobalt went up to over $300 per kilogram, but at the moment it's up to about 50. And this is, of course, because of supply disruptions from the Congo, which is still the largest source of cobalt on Earth. It is no longer the near total majority. It is down to only or a little bit less than 70%. And that is thanks to increased output from Australia that has counterbalanced that a little bit. But obviously, that's, roughly two-thirds still coming from the Congo, which is constantly prone to instability, civil war, technically under a kind of covert invasion at the moment from a combination of Uganda and Rwanda, as they are trying to take control of the mines of a different resource, tantalum, up in the northern portion of the country. Most of the cobalt is down alongside the copper in the southeastern portion of the country. But the supply disruptions are coming from the Congolese government, actually, as they impose revenue taxes on the mining industry there like any other government does. However, this year they abruptly decided they wanted more money, and so they set up a new kind of convoluted little process where they're now requiring the mining companies to rewrite a explicit quota of exactly how much they expect to mine and export that month, and then pay the Congolese government an additional fee on top of the yearly revenue tax that month, each month, based on whatever the market price is at the time. But the mining industry and the Congolese government have gotten into constant disputes month after month about how much was actually mined, and thus how much should have actually been paid by each company, and which price counted for that month, the price at the beginning, the end, the middle. And so companies who remain in dispute with the government are constantly being barred from continuing their exports, which is obviously hampering the global supply. Although the Congolese government is responding to such in the same way that the Russian government responds to its own citizens complaining about the fuel shortages in that country, except in the Congo's case, it's the Congolese government responding to the entire outside world by simply denying it and insisting that there is no shortage, there are no delays or disruptions. So the supply disruption this time, unlike the last one a few years back, is not related to internal armed conflict. Instead, this one is just related to new government revenue policies and financial disputes between the government, the mining corporations, and thus the mining corporations being barred from actually exporting their stuff. And that's the end of this one. So thank you everybody for sticking around and listening. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. There's hundreds of other things on the channel for you to watch. Also, obviously, there's a link in the description to a drive folder with all kinds of different energy, resource, minerals mining, everything graphs. That's all free to access. The PayPal and Patreon links and the YouTube super whatever buttons are all down there if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. There's also a link in the top pinned comment to my cat's YouTube channel. May God bless and protect all of you, and I will see you all around next time.